everybody. So Tammy and James in an RV might be a bit noisy. We'll see how it goes. But it's time to do a Q&A. Kathleen Rayner says a little bit off topic. She used to hand raise parrots. And they had fluffy toys, and the birds got really attached to them. Yeah, I mean we see the same thing too. I mean, so what we like to do is puppies that leave, we like to send them home with one of the stuffed toys that they've all been playing with for a couple of reasons. One is it's kind of a surrogate mother, and the other thing is it's got all the smells of mother and their babies with them. And at night time, when they're a little bit lonely for the first few nights, I think it helps a little bit soothe them when they've got a stuffed toy.
Or a t-shirt that's pulled out of the dirty clothes hamper.
Yes.
It works just as good too.
Eshod Igwala, how do we do a Punnett square with dogs that have multiple DNA? Well, all dogs have multiple DNA. So you've got to do multiple Punnett squares. Each Punnett square is separate. So you do a Punnett square for cream, a Punnett square for blue, a Punnett square for cocoa, a Punnett square for 10 points, and you look at the results of all that lot. So, it gets to be fairly complicated because it's a mixture of a whole bunch of Punnett squares. But the answer is, you don't do a Punnett square for a whole smorgasbord of colours. You do individual Punnett squares for each one. I know that's a little bit confusing, but that's the reality of it. I appreciate your Q&A, but I can only understand the Q. Okay, you don't understand the question and answers? Well, maybe we'll build a channel for you. Can you do a video on water babies? Yeah, well, I've never had a water baby, but I think that so a water baby is a baby that comes out, that's completely bloated, and it looks, almost grotesque. This is at birth. And it doesn't develop later. It's happened in the sac, and they've got a lot of water on board. So what do you do for those puppies? The answer is you give them Lasix. Just keep on 4400. We're navigating through here. Cutie pie chihuahuas. My stud carries the Merle gene, but isn't visible. Well, then he probably doesn't have the Merle gene. Can I mate him with a female that carries the Merle gene, but isn't visible? Well, I think you're confused here. So the first thing is that Merle is, if it's done right, it's a single copy. And either it shows, so if you've got a Merle daddy, for instance, he's got one copy, he's got two places for Merle, but he only has one copy. He gives that off to half of his puppies. So half the puppies are visual Merles, and the other ones have nothing to do with Merle at all. There is a thing called a cryptic Merle, and you can breed a cryptic Merle. That's a Merle that tests as being a Merle, but it doesn't show as being Merle. You can breed a cryptic Merle to a Merle, and you have a 4% chance of problems. It's very low. But the answer is almost certainly what you're talking about here is not a Merle at all. Just because you had a Merle parent doesn't mean that dad gave the Merle genome, or mum gave the Merle genome. In fact, if they did, then the dog would visibly be Merle. Sometimes Merles can be hard to detect because it's just a little bit on their muzzle, or maybe a little bit on the ear, but that is still a Merle. Raha Cardio says he can get a C-section for $250. I can. Why is my vet trying to charge me $3,500? That's crazy. Hey, it is what it is. Look, here's
a good old country vet that's done C-sections on bulldogs. Always check that out.
So there's 3 places in Texas and Oklahoma, 4 places in Texas and Oklahoma, that I know you can get a C-section done between $250 and $350 all day long. As a regular scheduled C-section, not an after-hours emergency C-section. You're probably going to add another $70 to $100 in those situations. So it could be as much as $350. A bargain. So how do you find that bargain? You shop around. You ask other people where they're going for their C-sections, and you get our traveling incubator, because that way you can travel 2, 3, 4 hours away to save yourself $3,000 on a C-section. So they're out there. Harder to find in California, easy to find in Texas and Oklahoma. Cutie Pie Chihuahua says it stinks that you have to put the disclaimer at the end of it saying that I'm not a vet. Well, yeah, but it's a litigious world these days, so I want to be completely apparent to everybody exactly what my game is here. My game is I'm an experienced breeder who's been doing it for a long time. and I know a lot about this, but I don't know everything, and I could certainly steer you wrong. And if I do, I'm sorry that I did that, and I won't do it intentionally, but don't come back and sue me. It's free information. And to wit, I'm not a vet, and I'm not in the medical profession either. I'm an engineer. Someone's asking how much for the 6-week-old puppies that are 7 weeks old. You have to call Tammy, 580-799. There she is, 799-1910. She can tell you all about them.
580-799-1910.
And right now she has what, Tammy? You got a...
I got a female and a boy left. Fluffy terriers.
4 fluffy terriers. Cute, small dogs. All right, enough of that one. How often? This is one for Tammy. This is Alvadura's tribe. How often do you bathe these 8-week-old puppies?
How often do you bathe 8-week-old puppies?
Yep.
They get good nasty.
There you go. Just like you and me. I take a bath about every 8 weeks because I get pretty nasty by the time the end of the 8 weeks coming along. You look, I mean, so you don't bathe puppies that have just been born because they get cold. Now, that's not a good situation. I don't need it. You don't, and I wouldn't bathe mum just after she's had a C-section either. But you can take wipes, and you can wipe down pups and mums, and just kind of get them nasty off them if you want to. What's the first? I mean, we don't bathe puppies until they get stinky. Look, if you get fluffy dogs, you'll be bathing them
every other day
because they get poop in their hair. And I mean,
if they're full fluffies.
If they're full fluffies, right? But, oops, sorry, kid. I've got a kid down here on the floor. Drop the phone. But if you've got a fluffy carrier, a regular dog, tell me when you start bathing.
Regular puppy?
Yeah.
When they get nasty, I mean, 6 weeks, 5 weeks.
Yeah.
5 weeks.
Right. You're going to take chocolate.
Chocolate?
44.
Okay. I thought I took vanilla.
You do.
Oh, okay.
Let me just check the map here real quick. It's good to tell us some more about that. Tell me while I look at the map. Make sure we did. Yes, we did the right thing. Good deal. We're all still on the map. We're going to Grand Lake, the Cherry Hills. Get away from the heat for a couple of days. Chanel's looking after our doggies for us. We've got 2 doggies on the floor down here. They're travelling with us. It's kind of getting dark out here, isn't it? All right. So back to what we were talking about. Yeah. So look, I mean, when puppies get to 4 weeks old, you can absolutely bathe them, but just do this. Use Johnson's baby shampoo. It's very, very safe. Don't get water in their ears. Tammy puts cotton plugs in their ears. Don't smother their faces and get the majestic water.
Use Johnson's baby shampoo because it's tearless.
Yes, exactly. And get them good and dry.
Make sure you rinse them off real good.
You rinse them off real good and get them nice and dry, and use a blow dryer with your hand on the puppy with you blowing about this distance away so you can feel the heat. Do not get a puppy hot.
You can burn their ears. You got to be real careful.
Yes.
When you use a blow dryer.
Yes.
Way
Yes.
careful.
But don't get them with a shivering. Don't get them with a shivering.
Yeah, but make sure you keep them covered up until they're dry, like in their wherever you're keeping them at, that there's not direct air blowing on them. You will give them a coat.
Yes. Okay, I think that is it for this video, and we'll pick up again. It's going to get dark, and hopefully this is not too terrible with us travelling in a big old RV going down the interstate at 80 miles an hour. Tammy's going at ludicrous speed. 80, 79. See you, everybody. Say goodbye to everybody, Tammy.
Call me on my puppies, 580-799-1910.
Bye, everybody. Have a good weekend. See ya. Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate people who subscribe to me. It helps me, encourage me to do more of these videos. But do remember, disclaimer here, I am not a vet. I'm not a licensed medical professional. I'm purely a person who's been breeding dogs for the last couple of decades. Any information that you got from this video, use at your own risk. There's nothing implied here, and certainly this should not be used as a substitute for advice from your veterinarian or your medical professional. I hope you enjoyed the video. Come back for more of them. Bye.